people who don't believe in God. And the reason why they don't believe in God, they are sick and tired of hearing just God is a good God, God is a good God, and hearing all this good preaching and see people dying of cancer, seeing young women, young men dying, leaving their kids without being cared for, and then they keep on hearing the same preacher saying God is good and God is a good God. Atheists are not going to get saved because we preach good and we witness. You don't witness to atheists. They must see power. When they see power, that settles the controversy. When it comes to Islam, you don't witness to. I have a lot of folks who have converted from Islam into my church. I was just in Cape Town a few weeks ago in South Africa, in Good Hope Church in Cape Town, and a whole Muslim family, the entire household, got saved the second night when they saw the power of God in action and saw how God healed the child that was dying. When they saw that, the entire family came in and they came to the service and received Christ. The church got to stop. This is the day of Elijah and the day of Mount Carmel. It's let the God that answer by fire be God, or let's forget this then. Because if we can't demonstrate, you see, a good lawyer prophetess does not win his case in court because he's good with the law and because he's articulate. But a good lawyer wins his case by backing his argument with evidence. Now the gospel must have evidence, and the evidence of the gospel is signs, wonders, and miracles. The Bible said, and Jesus taught, and Jesus preached, and Jesus healed the sick, and Jesus cast out devils. If we preach and teach and we don't heal and we don't cast out devils, that is not a full gospel. We are joking. And the reason why the world is dying, churches ain't growing prophetess like before. People are leaving one church to another church. We're just transferring people from one church to another. But if we are going to have true conversion and people coming to God, we need the power of God to come back to the church. And the gospel is not principle, prophetess. The gospel is not doctrines. Doctrines and principles is for the church, but the gospel is for the world. And the gospel is not good preaching, and the gospel is not principle. The gospel is not doctrines. The gospel is power. That's what the gospel is, power. The Bible said when Saul on his way to Damascus had an encounter with Jesus, that settled the whole. Nobody preached to Saul. Nobody told him you got to get born again. He meant what we need is encounter. I got saved on the bed of affliction, and I'll tell you how I got saved. I was on marijuana in those days. I wouldn't go to church, and I was crazy. I was just bad. I was born into a family of 43 brothers and sisters. My mother had 6, my father had 37. And I was just crazy among my father's kids. And I was fooling with witchcraft. I was going to the occult, and I was playing with voodoo and everything. And I wouldn't go to church. And one of the reasons was because there was no power in the church. And so that bothered me, and I said, I don't want to have anything to do with this, because the malams, the juju, the occult, they can produce. They can deliver. You go there, you tell them what they want, they tell you what you do, and you get results. So I didn't want to fool with church. On the bed of affliction, when I lost 3 of my fingers, I was attacked by the enemy, and the enemy commanded me to light a candle and to place my right palm on the flame. And I placed my right hand on the flame, and my hand began to burn. And the enemy said, don't remove your hand till I command you to do so. My lips were sealed. I couldn't take my hands off. And the demons were in my room. I couldn't see them, but they were speaking to me. And I heard them, and I could feel this evil presence weighing me down, and I couldn't scream. I was in pain and in agony. I couldn't take my hands up. On the bed of affliction, Jesus appeared to me and said, I am Jesus. And that settled the issue. Nobody witnessed. I got saved on the bed of affliction. And I said, if you are Jesus, then set me free, because I couldn't sleep for years. I couldn't sleep for days. The enemy wanted me. He was out to kill me. And he said, I will set you free under one condition, that you will preach and witness of my power to the nations. And I said, it's a deal. From that night, I was set free from nightmare, from all those demon spirits that came after my life. They couldn't touch me anymore. From that night, I got saved. Years after, I said, forget it. I wanted to give it all up, and the demons came back again. And Jesus appeared to me and said, we made a deal. You said you serve me. As long as you keep to your side of the bargain, they leave you alone. So I said, okay, you win. You got to understand, folks, it is impossible and it is illegal for God to do anything for nations, for communities, for churches, for humanity until somebody prays. Let me break it down. One of the reasons why Jesus had to be born was because the legal entry to the planet is the womb of a woman. You can't come to this earth without the womb of a woman. Spirits are not allowed to operate on the earth realm without the bodies of human beings. God is a spirit and he doesn't have right to come among humanity to operate without a human invitation, involvement, or cooperation. Number two, demons cannot operate without human bodies. So God needs human bodies and demon needs human bodies. Now whoever you submit to operates through you. So God is seeking for men and women to operate through, whilst the devil is also seeking for men and women to operate through. Now watch this. Watch this. You got to understand some few things here. God gave man jurisdiction over the earth. The Bible said that there was contention over the body of Moses. And when an angel of the Lord by the name of Michael, who was the minister of defense for heaven, came to protect the body of Moses, the Bible said he dare not rebuke Satan. Now this was the same Michael who overcame Satan in heaven and fired him, but in the earth realm he could not rebuke Satan. Why? Because number one, he didn't have jurisdiction here in the earth realm. He didn't have jurisdiction. Number two, he did not have judicial rights and authority. And the reason is because God gave earth to man. So it's only man that have dominion over earth. So angels don't have dominion over the earth realm. It's only man. One of the reasons why Jacob prevailed over the angel was because the angel was dealing with Jacob within the jurisdictions of man.
My God.
So the angel could not overcome man within his jurisdiction.
Jesus.
So even though he was mortal, he prevailed against a celestial being